Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining CalRecycle's June 2026 public meeting. Just as a reminder, we are now on Vimeo, so in case we do experience any sort of technical difficulties today, no worries. We will have the recording online via our YouTube channel. A quick reminder that we will be briefly pause after each agenda item to give our live Spanish language interpreters time to relay information. With that, we are now transitioning over, talking about live public comments throughout the meeting. Please raise your hand in Zoom or call in now if you have comments on the upcoming items. Director's report, Plastic Pollution Prevention, Textile and Battery Recycling Act updates, and grants and loans. Before we head into the next item, let's watch a quick video highlighting some recent events CalRecycle attended.
So today we are gathering the community for a free textile education event to teach the community about SB 707 and how we can recover textiles from the landfill and contribute to a more circular economy right here in our own region. I think this is really important because textiles are kind of a forgotten waste stream, I think, and they really could be made into something else. They could be repaired. They could remain in circulation. They don't have to end up in the landfill.
Okay, next on the agenda is the director's report.
Morning, everybody. Happy June. Hope you're all staying cool out there. So a couple things that I wanted to highlight. Is this thing working? Y'all can hear? Okay. Sounded quiet. I'll speak louder. Okay, there we go. One thing that I wanted to highlight was that just yesterday, Circular Action Alliance, who's the producer responsibility organization for packaging EPR, submitted a draft of their program plan to the SB 54 advisory board. So what this means is there's a formal public comment period. So this is a really good time to review the plan, provide comment on it, attend the advisory board meeting to hear their comments. And then what the PRO will do is they will update that plan to submit to the department this fall. So this is a draft that's out right now. It's available on our website, their website, I don't know, their website. Oh, there's Karen. Great. Hi. And the discussion next week should be very rich next Friday at the advisory board meeting. Changing topics, also wanted to announce that today we're going to present over $41 million in new circular economy investments. We'll hear more about new grant awards and that expand convenient beverage container redemption options. One of those recipients is California's local conservation corps, and they do work in communities all throughout California. We're also excited to announce today an RMDZ loan that Scott will present in just a bit to increase textile recycling in California. All right, so with that, I will turn it over to Karen.
Thanks, Zoe. All right. So I'll try not to be too duplicative, but add some additional context on the announcement that Zoe just made. So as she said, the producer responsibility organization for our packaging producer program is submitted to the advisory board. The plan is available for public review and comment until August 14th. The advisory board is meeting next Friday on June 26th. In this building, in the Sierra hearing room. And they do plan to meet, I think, 2 additional times during the plan review period. So they'll be meeting next Friday, and then they will also be discussing the dates for other meetings so that they can continue to hear public comments, have their own discussions about their impressions of the plan and the comments that they would wish to make, and then that will result in written comments coming from the advisory board to the PRO. Once they complete those, which are due on August 14th, as Zoe said, then the PRO will have 60 days to assimilate those comments into a revised plan and submit that plan in the fall to CalRecycle for our consideration and decision. So, a couple of other things about this program that you should know. CalRecycle continues to update its producer guidance webpage with downloadable guidance materials. These are being made available to help participants meet their compliance obligations. Resources that are now online include guidance on identifying covered materials, determining status of producers, registration and small producer application steps, and several other applications that are applicable to different provisions within the law. Please go to CalRecycle's Packaging EPR website for more information, and you can sign up for our email updates. So I'll be turning my focus now to the Responsible Textiles Recovery Act. So we're approaching a big registration deadline and our next informal workshop. But first, we have a quick video overview of the law.
California is leading the way in sustainable fashion with bold and new reforms to cut waste and pollution from textiles and apparel. Every second, a garbage truck worth of textiles is landfilled or burned. Californians toss over 1.2 million tons a year. That means higher trash bills, more pollution, and microplastics from synthetic fabrics. California's Responsible Textile Recovery Act shifts the responsibility to industry to manage the product after you're done with it. In the coming years, the industry-funded and managed program will bring convenient drop-off options to every county and require producers to collect, repair, reuse, or recycle their products. Fast fashion producers will pay more unless they design for reuse and recycling. It's a smarter system that rewards sustainability and turns textile waste into opportunity for a cleaner, healthier California.
All right, so hopefully you've learned a little bit about our program. We've got a couple of updates and reminders. First of all, a registration reminder. So for covered product, textile, and apparel producers, those companies have until July 1st to register with the Producer Responsibility Organization, Landbell USA. To register online, go to landbellusa.com. We also want to remind you that we have an upcoming workshop later this summer. CalRecycle is going to have an informal rulemaking workshop on August 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. here in the CalEPA building, also with webcast and Zoom options for those who are unable to join us here in Sacramento. We want to utilize this opportunity to start getting feedback on preliminary regulatory concepts, and this will be the first of several workshops that we have covering different concepts for fleshing out the regulations for this program. More information, including an agenda and a Zoom registration link, are included in today's monthly public meeting agenda, and you can sign up for CalRecycle's Textile Stewardship Listserv to receive updates. Next up, we've got update on the Responsible Battery Recycling Act. So the department is hosting an informal public rulemaking workshop at 1 p.m. today here at headquarters. Interested parties are welcome to offer feedback on the latest regulation draft. And just like the other workshop I mentioned, we have Zoom registration opportunity as well as webcast. More information, including the links for that Zoom, our proposed regulation text, and a discussion document summarizing the changes since the last public version of the text are available in the public notice linked in today's agenda. And that's it for me for right now, and I will pass it off to Staff Services Manager Blair McIntosh with grant and loan updates.
A quick announcement before we continue with the meeting. A link has been made available on CalRecycle's homepage, calrecycle.ca.gov. Click on the link to access the live stream. It is working again. Thank you so much. Back to you, Blair.
Good morning, everyone. Let's move forward to grants and loans. CalRecycle is awarding a $10 million Beverage Container Redemption Innovation Grant Award to Circular CRV Association. The dealer cooperative manages redemption on behalf of obligated beverage retailers across the state. This grant will fund equipment and infrastructure for additional mobile redemption vehicles and bag drop units, including in areas with no current CRV redemption sites. Check out the link in today's agenda for more on the project and read the association's approved stewardship plan for more detailed information on their plans to boost convenient redemption access statewide. Next slide. We're also awarding $30.7 million in grant funding to all 13 of California's certified local conservation corps. Grant support programs that collect and recycle materials like beverage containers, waste tires, used oil, electronic waste, and more while restoring habitats across California. All 13 local conservation corps receiving funding support disadvantaged communities, and one grantee provides services in the border region. And finally, CalRecycle's Recycling Market Development Zone program approved an $800,000 loan to Peerless Materials Company based in the Los Angeles County community of Vernon. The textile recycler and manufacturer turns post-consumer and post-industrial textiles into industrial wipers, absorbent pads, and other reusable textile products. The equipment upgrades will help expand the company's recycling capacity from 4,500 tons per year to 22,000 tons. Back to you.
All right, thank you. So now to public comments. Do we have any public comments in the room? Okay, transitioning over, do we have any comments on Zoom or on the phone? Okay, looking ahead, please raise your hand in Zoom or call in now if you have comments on the following: beverage container recycling program, product stewardship, materials management and local assistance, waste permitting compliance, and mitigation updates. All right, next on the agenda is beverage container recycling program updates from Deputy Director Amy Cameron.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Last week, the Beverage Container Recycling Program conducted our annual methodology workshop to discuss the survey season of October 2026 to September 2027 for the commingled and segregated rates. We will be posting that slide deck soon for anyone interested. During that workshop, CalRecycle received a presentation from UC Davis regarding our contract to review and, if necessary, propose a new methodology for our commingled and segregated rates for the January 2029 rates. CalRecycle believes now is the time to introduce new processes as we have expanded the program to add new beverage containers and to also reflect more modern procedures in the field with collection and sorting. Please sign up for our listserv to receive information on upcoming workshops, and I will continue to provide updates here at the public meetings as we have further information to share. Also, the handling fees for fiscal year 2026 will remain the same and expire on June 30th, 2027. That notice was posted yesterday on the beverage container website. The processing payments for 2026 calendar year quarter 3 will be posted later today. And we have also posted the latest enforcement and certification updates online, and they are linked to today's agenda. Product Stewardship Branch Chief Karen Kafetz is next with more program updates.
All right. Thanks. I hope you all enjoyed your break from listening to me give updates. We're back now with some updates on our other programs, starting with Paint Care. CalRecycle received Paint Care's 2025 annual report on May 15th. Accepted public comments on this item through June 3rd and are currently reviewing the annual report to determine whether Paint Care demonstrated compliance with statutory, regulatory, and plan requirements. Action is needed by September 14th, and the director's determination will be presented at a future monthly public meeting. You can find more information in the public notice linked in today's agenda. Few updates on Circular CRV Association. On May 28th, CalRecycle approved Circular CRV Association's proposed changes to its stewardship plan, which included amendments to the methods of redemption, capacity, geographic spread, performance standard, and consumer convenience. More information, including the plan changes and CalRecycle's approval letter, are linked in the public notice in today's agenda. And you can go to the association's website, recycledepot.org, for an up-to-date listing of its fully operational redemption sites, which will no longer be listed individually in these meetings. Last update from me is a couple of decisions posted that we have linked in today's agenda. decisions on the Mattress Recycling Council's used mattress recovery and recycling plan, and on Carpet America recovery efforts revised differential assessments plan have been posted online, and you can get to those through the agenda. Now, I will hand it over to Materials Management and Local Assistance Deputy Director Kara Morgan.
Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you. First, I'd like just to give an update on an informational item that's already been approved. So CalRecycle is responsible for reviewing and either approving or disapproving counties and regional agencies' integrated waste management plan 5-year reports. And the purpose of the report is for counties and the jurisdictions within those counties to really do a review on their planning documents to determine if there have been any major changes in demographics, funding, as well as diversion programs and landfill capacity. And for this informational item, both the Yuba and Sutter counties and the jurisdictions submitted a 5-year review report to CalRecycle. And in that report, they concluded that no revisions were necessary at this time, and we have approved that item. And now I'd like to take a moment to spotlight one of our team members, Chelsea Callahan. Chelsea is an environmental scientist in our local assistance and market development branch. And Chelsea, like all of our other local assistance staff, are assigned to all of the jurisdictions in California to provide support in complying with the SB 1383 regulations. And that's super important work. But one of the special projects that Chelsea was assigned and volunteered and happily did was really looking at the opportunity within our own building so that we can not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. Did I say that right? Walk the talk? Just do it, right? And so we were really at a place in our building that we needed to make some improvements to our own collection systems, improve our signage and the placement, as well as educating our own staff. And Chelsea has led that effort, and we're really excited to hear from Chelsea today and give her some expression of our gratitude. Chelsea?
Okay. Thank you to Kara, Marshall, Carla, and RT for the recognition, as well as your wonderful support and encouragement throughout both the bin modernization project and work with LAMD. Also, thank you to OPA for their assistance developing educational material coming soon. Also, DGS, especially Tracy, for her collaboration in general and for her quick work already deploying some of these beautiful sorting stations here and elsewhere in the building. And lastly, to the recycling coordinators of each BDU operating in headquarters for their valuable insights throughout the process. As Kara mentioned, one of our humble goals throughout this bin modernization project here at the Cal EPA headquarters is to become an example for other business and office establishments to refer to, especially multi-tenant buildings who are working on developing and implementing 3-bin collection systems of their own. This project is still in progress. So those of you who do work within the building, keep your eyes open for new developments coming soon, potentially even some friendly competition between floors for least contamination of waste streams. One last thank you to our wonderful group of talented people in LAMD. You are all a continuous source of inspiration for your dedication to serving our local jurisdictions. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm next.
No introductions are necessary.
Are they? Okay. I was going to introduce myself, but that's fine. Mark DeBee, Deputy Director, Waste Permitting Compliance Mitigation Division, gives Noe a chance to come up to the podium. He's going to present a number of items in the solid waste disposal and co-disposal grants and a few other projects. Noe?
Thank you. So we currently have a draft of the scoring criteria RFA with proposed changes to the scoring for the solid waste disposal and co-disposal cleanup program. A public notice was posted on June 3rd. There are 2 grant programs that use this criteria: the Illegal Disposal Site Abatement Grant Program and the Legacy Disposal Site Abatement Partial Grant Program. The proposed scoring changes are limited to the scoring for prior grant awards. Previously, there was a 5-point deduction for having held a grant from either grant program. The proposed change will separate the deduction by grant program. After this meeting, the RFA will be approved and posted with a public notice. The timeline for the next fiscal year's cleanup program grants are as follows. July 2026, the notice of funds available will be posted with the specific cycle dates. September, applications will be due. December, the grants will be awarded. We also have an update on the solid waste disposal and co-disposal site cleanup program. A CalRecycle managed project has been approved to cooperatively clean up several Bureau of Land Management or BLM sites across California with an estimated CalRecycle cost of $300,000. BLM sites across the state are seeing widespread illegal dumping. The department will cooperatively remediate sites with BLM by providing waste hauling, disposal, and help removing dump material. BLM will also coordinate with local agencies to boost patrols and install barriers to help prevent future dumping. CalRecycle has a long and successful working relationship with the BLM on solid waste sites located within BLM land. We are also announcing a $1.5 million for 2 legacy disposal site abatement partial grant recipients. $750,000 is being awarded to the city of Orland, and the city of Riverside is also receiving $750,000 in grant funds. Both agencies are remediating issues at legacy disposal waste sites within their jurisdictions. Now back to Deputy Director Mark DeBee.
Thank you so much, Noe. You can see that that program is very active, both giving out grants and carrying out department-led projects. So my thanks to Noe and his colleagues and Steve. So now we're going to move to solid waste permits and waivers, and we'll have a quick video, and that will give a chance for Robert to come up to the podium.
To keep Californians healthy and protect our land, food, water, and air, CalRecycle and local enforcement agencies work together. Local enforcement agencies get community input, process permit applications, conduct inspections, and make sure solid waste facilities follow the law. CalRecycle verifies that permits for solid waste facilities, including landfills and compost sites, comply with state standards and inspections. Agreeing with the LEA that a permit is ready to be issued is known as concurring. Additionally, CalRecycle reviews approved emergency waivers and can modify, limit, or end them. Emergency waivers temporarily modify solid waste facility permits for up to 120 days and may be extended, providing relief for facility operators during disasters, and they're approved by local enforcement agencies. For waste tire facilities, CalRecycle issues and enforces waste tire facility permits to make sure tires are stored and processed safely. Scan this QR code or visit CalRecycle's website for more detailed information.
All right, I'll be giving an update on solid waste facility permits that are pending CalRecycle's action. First, a new solid waste facility permit is Tehachapi Recycling and Transfer Station in Tehachapi, California. This is for a transfer processing facility with a proposed maximum tonnage of 300 tons per day and proposed operating area of 22.86 acres. Action is needed by July 28th. Now on to some revised solid waste facility permits. The first is for Lost Hills Environmental Waste Facility in Lost Hills, California. This is for the addition of a transfer processing activity for the treated auto shredder waste material recovery facility, increased traffic volume from 313 vehicles per day to 389 vehicles per day, and adjusted estimated closure date from 2030 to 2040. Action is needed by June 30th. Next is the Mount Vernon Avenue Recycling and Composting Facility in Bakersfield, California. This is for the addition of a municipal solid waste stream into the existing transfer operations. Updates to the report of facility information and a name change to the Mount Vernon Avenue Discarded Materials Handling Facility. Action is needed by August 3rd. And the last revised solid waste facilities permit is for CWS DTLA Material Recovery Facility and Transfer Station in Los Angeles. This is to increase the tonnage from 500 to 900 tons per day, increase the area from 1.24 to 2.19 acres, and to increase the design capacity from 500 to 900 tons per day. Action is needed by August 8th. And then lastly, we have a modified solid waste facility permit. This is for the city of Lompoc Sanitary Landfill in Lompoc, California. This is to update the hours of operation and update the LEA operating conditions. Action is needed by July 3rd. We also have a list of actions that were taken by the department since the last public meeting, and more information about these can be found on our public notice page. And that's all for my updates. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you. So now we go to public comments. Do we have any public comments in the room? Seeing none. Okay, do we have any comments on Zoom or on the phone?
We do. Arthur M., you're up first. I'm going to ask you to unmute and go ahead with your comment.
Oh, hi. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Thank you so very much. I just want to let you guys know that I hold a U.S. patent that entails sanitizing a reusable cup or a jug, and I wanted to know if it was a way that I can furnish my IP to a company that is trying to, because I'm just one person that is trying to adhere to the SB 54 Act and our Go Green initiative by creating an innovative product like a self-serving sanitizing cup kiosk that will benefit any public venue and therefore benefit our state of California.
Arthur, thanks so much for calling in and for sharing the innovative work that you're doing. I would suggest you connect with Circular Action Alliance, who's the producer responsibility organization that's going to be implementing or developing the plan. Well, they've developed a plan. And they will be designing what reuse will look like in the state along with all interested parties. We'd be happy to make that connection if that would be helpful.
Yes. Oh, you bless your heart. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Arthur.
Okay.
Next, we have a phone call on the line. Last four digits ending in 5554. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and unmute. We will be coming back to that caller. Next in line is Susan Collins from CRI.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to give public comment on this. I'm talking today because there is an item in the state budget that I think most people don't know about. I'm surprised by it, and I'm disturbed by the way that the item is being run through the budget. It's a $100 million line item, and it's very, very poorly defined. It's just a few words. It's $100 million available for the Beverage Container Quality Infrastructure Grant Program. So there are no goals. It's not defined the way a normal piece of legislation would be. There's really almost zero opportunity to debate whether that's a good use of funding. And it also doesn't match the language of the budget hearing documents that the legislators actually, the way that they approved this line item, there was more specificity about how the money was going to be spent, which almost makes it look like a bait and switch situation because they discussed something more specific in the budget hearings. But what appears in the actual budget document is just those few words. $100 million is available for the Beverage Container Quality Infrastructure Grant Program. So, and none of that even gets to the merit of the actual program. So I wanted to make people aware that there's a huge $100 million line item that is buried in a budget bill. And it's really just a terrible, terrible way to set public policy, to just have a line item like that that's so poorly defined. And that's it. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Appreciate you calling in and commenting. And I'll just provide a little bit more detail on what that line item is specifically. In the initial governor's budget, there was a beverage container item, well, 3 beverage container items. One is the one that you're referring to, which is the 100 million. And then there's, let me get my numbers right here. 65 million for the reclaimers and manufacturers through the Plastic Market Development Program and a small grant program in there. And another program that would support rural jurisdictions in standing up convenient redemption opportunities at 50 million. And the 100 million that you're referring to is, it mirrors a previous program that we had, the Quality Infrastructure Program, that was oversubscribed. That initial number was 50 million. Is that right, Amy?
Yes, it was 50 million, and I believe it was oversubscribed by 233 million.
Fully expended and oversubscribed by what Amy said, over $200 million. So the goal there is to be able to support those that came in for that funding so that they could invest in modernizing technology within their facilities to better sort beverage containers for cleaner streams of material to get processed into new beverage containers. So that was the intent there, we heard a lot from stakeholders over the last year. The administration heard quite a bit about ways in which the beverage container could continue to be improved, and where investments would be most meaningful to creating cleaner streams of material or providing additional convenience. And those 3 areas were for the infrastructure grants, supporting reclaimers and manufacturers that are utilizing recycled beverage containers, and then supporting rural jurisdictions that are still looking for additional support in standing up convenient locations for consumers to bring their beverage containers back. Understand what you're referring to is the language in the 2-party agreement between the Senate and the Assembly, where there was some additional context to these programs, and then there's still going to be negotiations happening to ultimately land on that 3-party agreement as well. So I'll leave it there and also invite Amy or Mindy to provide any other additional information if they'd like to.
No, the BCP, the original BCP, is posted on the Department of Finance webpage, so you can find our initial proposal and more details on it there.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, our next comment is Evan Edgar. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute.
Evan Edgar, live from Eureka, California today, engineer on behalf of the California Compost Coalition. CalRecycle does some great work on all the different cleanups, solid waste disposal and co-disposal site cleanup, ranch and farm cleanup, a lot of good programs. One of the criteria is when you do these cleanups is having a higher recycling rate with regards to having more diversion of different materials as part of these cleanups for things that are recyclable. And some of these are ranch and farm cleanups cleanups have to do a lot of green waste, illegal dumping green waste up in the high desert. The LA Times did a big article about all the illegal dumping up in the desert of green waste. And then CalRecycle did good work on adopting land application regulations to mitigate that. But meanwhile, there's going to be a lot of cleanup that needs to occur, and you guys got a great program. So as part of the criteria to maximize diversion, you had a case study last year that was lauded on your one of your monthly meetings, had to do with clean up a greenway site up in, I think it was Yuba County or Sutter, and that they use the material, the green waste, for alternative daily cover and try to get diversion credit for it. But we all know that stopped in 2020. and then that shouldn't be a opportunity to use this material for daily cover at landfills. So my comment today is, as you put together these cleanup programs that are really good, that as you maximize diversion, you don't get any diversion credit for using this green waste for alternative daily cover. And if anything, the eligible feedstocks should go to composting in order to make a Title 14 compost. So as you guys approach the cleanup of the desert and other programs on green waste, so I just wanted to look at the criteria when those programs come up to maximize composting and have 0 credit for ADC. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. Appreciate that comment. And also, we share your priority of ensuring that we can have materials that can go to recycling. So thank you, and look forward to reviewing our criteria and seeing if there's some opportunity there.
Okay, we have another caller. Last 4 digits, 8393. We're going to ask you to unmute. Caller 8393. Okay, it looks like we're not able to make a connection. It looks like the caller hung up.
All right, well, we will be posting our public meeting recording in English and Spanish on our YouTube channel in the next few days. And with that, I would like to say thanks for joining, everyone, and we'll see you next month.